There's this book called How to Influence and Influence People, and it's extremely interesting. I mean, basically, it talks about psychology, communication, and why people, what are people most interested in. For example, one of the main things that I remembered is that everyone is the most interested in themselves, which means that if you come to someone and maybe you don't know each other that well, or maybe you even do, but if you want to capture attention of the other person, you should encourage them to talk about themselves. Now, you can talk about whether this is moral or manipulative. I think that it's basically how it works, and it's really powerful and useful to understand how our mind works, and then we should all do our best with that information. And so, to get back to the point, if you would try to maximize the engagement of the other person in the conversation, what you would do is that you try to find something that they really like to talk about. For example, you don't you would probably start with something like how are you, blah blah blah, but the other person might just hint you that they were on, for example, bikes this weekend, and you can maybe even see the spark in their eyes when they talk about it. And when you can notice this, it usually shows that the other person really loves the topic. And so, what you would do to maximize their engagement would be to ask them, like genuinely, be interested in what the other person likes to talk about. So if it's about those bikes, you can ask them about their favorite place, or maybe how inside or like the technical stuff works on the bike. And I mean, you can genuinely be interested in the topic after you just figure out that this is what the other person likes to talk about. And it's this weird thing where everybody is the most interested in themselves. And so if you can just figure out what the other person is the most interested in and then ask them about it, they will love to talk about it. But yeah, as I already said, I think we should be cautious as Christians with methods like this because it's powerful, and make sure it's not manipulative. That's all for today, guys. Bye bye.